Hello everybody, I hope you're doing great. Today we're going to have a global language review where we're going to review some grammar, some functions and also vocabulary. If you look at exercise A, we have fill in the gaps with the appropriate words from the list. Fill in, okay, we are going to fill in the gaps with the appropriate, with the suitable, with the correct words in the gaps. Now, in our company, we have business with many African countries. Business with many African countries. We make business, we do business, or we take business. What do you think? Business, which verb goes with business? Do we make business? Do we do business? Or do we take business? Okay? So the right answer here, because it's a collocation, the words that go together are called collocations. So we say to do business. Number 2, Leslie could not decide. She needs to more about the job. So we have a person, her name is Leslie, and Leslie had a problem. She could not take a decision. She could not make a decision. She needs to about the job. So she wants to take a decision about the job, but she needs to let in. So let in, this is a phrasal verb, put on and find out. Let in, let someone in is to give permission and permit someone to enter. Okay? Let someone in. Put on, we put on our clothes, okay? Put on, and find out. Find out is to know, is to discover. Okay? So why couldn't she decide? Why couldn't she take a decision? It's because she needs more time to let in, to put on, or to discover and to know about the job. Very good. It's to find out more about the job. Let's go to B. Give the correct form of the words in brackets. So we have words in brackets and we need to put them in the correct form. This lesson is word formation. Word formation, how words are formed, and we are going to use the prefixes, the letters that come before the word, and the suffixes that come after the word, depending on the situation. Very good. So in some situations we will need a verb or an adverb or an adjective or a noun. We will see. Number 1, Facebook made a short video. Facebook made a short video too. And we have celebration. Celebration is what? Is it an adjective, a noun, a verb, or an adverb? Celebration is a noun. Okay? So to celebration, my friendship with Jack. Now, if you look here, we have to. What comes after to is a verb. So we need a verb here. We need a verb. What is the verb of celebration? Celebration, communication, immigration, immigration, immigrate, communication, communicate, celebration, celebrate. Very good. So, to celebrate my friendship with Jack. Number 2, corporal, punish, the verb to punish. If someone misbehaves, okay, does not respect the rules or the law, we punish this person. But here we are speaking about corporal, physical, related to the body, okay? Physical, punish, and I don't want to give you the noun. Corporal, now corporal here is an adjective, okay? Corporal, and what comes after adjectives? It's nouns. Say a beautiful house, okay? An easy exam, a beautiful day. So day is a noun, exam is a noun. But here we have a verb. We have the verb to punish. We need the noun. So corporal punish is forbidden in our schools. It's not allowed, okay? No one should use physical or corporal punish. Punish what? What's the noun of punish? We are going to add a suffix. So, punish. Punish what? Punishment. the suffix ment. Like what? Like govern, govern, government. Manage, management. Develop, development. Okay? C. Rewrite the sentences beginning with the words given. We are going to rewrite the sentences. If we look at number 1, we have, where can I find a gas station? The woman asks me, where can I find a gas station? Okay, for the car, gas station. The woman asked me. If you look here at the quotes, this lesson is the reported speech. Okay, so there is a question, where can I find a gas station? Question mark, it's a question. So the woman wanted to know, the woman asked me or wanted to know, what did she want to know? She wanted to know the place. Okay, a place. So she wanted to know where what? Okay, now look here, we have can I. This I here is the woman who is speaking. Can I? The original order is I can. But we say can I because it's a question and we have to invert. So we say can I, but normally it's I can. I can. The subject first, then the model can. And then the verb. That's the origin, that's the form. There is no inversion here. Now I, let's change I because it's the woman. So we're going to replace it with she. Where she, that's the subject. And can, in the reported speech, we have to change can into could. Very good. So where she could. And she could what? She could find a gas station. Okay? So the woman wanted to know, she wanted to know where she and can, could what? Could find a gas station. Let's go to number 2. They will, in the future, they will equip, okay, from equipment, they will equip highways between Rabat and Casablanca, or between Casablanca and Bni Mellal, between, for example, Rabat and Tangier. There are highways, the highways, okay? So they will equip those highways with what? With sophisticated cameras. The cameras are sophisticated, are very developed, high technology. So they are going to, or they will equip. They will equip, so they, it's the agent or the doer. They will, future, the verb is equip. Equip what? Equip highways. And then we start with highways. Which lesson is this when you have the direct object? When we start our sentence with the direct object. It's the passive voice. When we start with the doer, that's an active. When I say I finished the work, I, that's active form. If I say the work, that's the direct object, so it's passive voice. This is the passive voice with will. Now, how do we use the passive voice with will? They will equip highways. So highways will what? Will be. Very good. Will be what? And we need the past participle of equip. Will be equipped. Will be equipped with what? With sophisticated cameras. And now C. We have the firemen could not put out the fire because they did not bring enough equipment. Okay? The firemen they couldn't put out, it's another phrasal verb here. Put out the fire is to extinguish the fire. When there is fire, you put water on it, so you put it out. So the firemen could not put out the fire. Why? Because they did not bring with them, they did not bring enough equipment to do that. Now, we have if. Which lesson is this? This is the conditional Very good. Now, how can we know if it's conditional 1 or 2 or 3? How can we know? By looking at this sentence and the verbs and the models, of course. So we have couldn't, and we know that couldn't is the past of can't. And we have also did not bring, didn't. So we're talking in the past. So this is conditional type 3. Okay? Now, conditional type 3, what is the rule? We have if and the past perfect. Then in the second part, we use would, have, and past participle. Sometimes we use also could. Okay? Now, if the fireman had, so we are going to imagine the opposite, because what happened is they could not and they did not bring. Now we're going to imagine another situation. If they had brought, because brought is the past participle of the verb bring. If they had brought enough equipment, let's imagine now, in reality, they could not put out the fire. Now, we are going to say they would, or they could. They could what? They could have put out the fire. They could have put out the fire. Here we have a focus. We have focused on put out, on the verb. Put out the fire. They could have put out the fire. We can also focus on the model because they could not put out the fire. Now, what is could or can? It's to be what? To be able. To be able, the verb to be able. So in the present you say, for example, I am able or I am not, and in the past I was able or I was not. So here, if we want to use to be able, here we can say if the fireman had brought enough equipment, we respect the rule, they would, so another way, they would what? They would have, and the past participle of the verb to be, past participle, what is the past participle? Been, very good, they would have been what? They would have been able to do what? To put out the fire, okay? So they would have put out the fire or they would have been able to put out the fire. We go to D. So tenses, put the verbs in brackets in the correct form. Put the verbs in brackets in the correct form. By the end of this year, my daughter obtained her master's degree in nuclear physics. Now, if you look here, the end of this year, the end of the year, it's November and December. This is the future, the end of the year. Okay, it's the future. So, which future are we going to use? A simple future, future perfect. We have by. By makes the difference because it's not in the end of the year. It's by the end of the year. It's from now to the future. So that's future perfect. So we use future perfect. Will have obtained. Ed. Don't forget ed. And finally, we visited Erfurt. But we not be to Merzuga yet. We visited Erfurt, but we not be to Merzuga yet. Now, we visited Erfurt. If you look at the verb here, we visited Erfurt in the past. Okay, it's in the past. We visited Erfurt, but we not be to Merzuga yet. We have yet. When you have you finished? And you say, not yet, in class to your teacher. Have you finished? Not yet. It means that you are going to finish, but you haven't finished yet. When you have a plan and you are going to do something, but you did not realize it. So you say, I haven't done something yet. We use the present perfect here. Present perfect. So we visited Erfoud, but how do we use the present perfect? What is the form? We use have, very good. So, but we haven't, past participle of the verb to be, we haven't been to Merzouga yet. Okay. Let's go to E. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate, with the right words from the lists. Again, we have despite, since, and whereas. Okay? These are linking words, these are connectors. Each one has a function, each one has serves a function. So despite here expresses what? If you remember, despite expresses concession. In spite, we can have despite and also in spite of. Okay? Together they express concession. Since expresses what? Expresses cause and effect. Cause and effect. It's a synonym of simply because or as. Okay, we can say as or because. And whereas we use it, okay, when we have contrast, okay? It expresses contrast or opposition. Okay? Whereas we can replace it with while, okay? For example, I am very tall while my brother is short, or whereas my brother is short. Since, for example, since it's very cold, because it's very cold, I'm going to wear my coat or my jacket since or because it's very cold. And despite, for example, let's say I worked very hard but I didn't get a good grade or a good mark. So I can say despite working hard, I did not get a good grade. What is the situation here? My sister's handwriting is beautiful. My sister's handwriting is beautiful. My handwriting is terrible. What are we doing here? Is it cause and effect here? We are speaking about my sister's handwriting with my handwriting, okay? So, we are doing what? We are comparing, okay? There is a contrast between my sister's handwriting and my handwriting. So, we are going to use whereas. Whereas mine is terrible, we're comparing. Number 2, I can't remember the person sent me this video. I can't remember the person sent me this video. We have who, which, whose, which lesson is this? This is the relative clauses. Very good, relative pronouns. Who, we use it to talk about person. Which, for objects. And whose, it's possessive. Okay, the person, whose car, whose brother, whose mom, etc. I can't remember the person sent me this video. Okay, so the person, it's clear, the person who sent me, okay, this video. Let's go to F now. F, match, we are going to match each expression with its appropriate function. We have expressions here and we have functions here, and we're going to match. We have given advice. You want to give an advice to someone. Your parents give you advices. They tell you study hard, work hard, sleep early. For example, your teachers also give you advices, listen to English songs, etc. Expressing regret when you do something or you don't do something. You regret doing it or not doing it. That's a regret. C, certainty, when you are sure about something. You are certain, you are sure. And D, responding to bad news. If you hear bad news, what do you say? Let's go. Number 1, you must be Andrew's brother. You must be Andrew's brother. You look like him. You look like Andrew's brother. You must be Andrew's brother. You must be. Here, must expresses what? You know that must, this model here, must, can be used for obligation. When I tell you, you must work hard, you must respect the law, you must, that's an obligation. But here, is it an obligation? You must be. Okay? So, this is not obligation here. This is to express certainty. You must be Andrew's brother. This is certainty. I am sure you are Andrew's brother because you look like him. Must. Number 2, why don't you consult a lawyer about this problem? Why don't you consult a lawyer, okay, about this problem? Okay? So when you have a problem, a legal or problem with law, or a problem in society in general with someone, and you go to court, you need this person. It's a job, it's a person whose job is to defend you. That's a lawyer. So why don't you consult a lawyer about this problem? You have why. You see it's a question. You have a question mark. But don't be confused. It's not a question. When I tell you, why don't you practice sport? Why don't you call the doctor? Why don't you see the doctor? Here, I'm not asking a question. Here, I am giving you my suggestion. I am giving you an idea. I'm giving you my advice. So why don't you consult a lawyer? That's my advice to you. That's my idea. That's my suggestion. Please, it's not a question. Number 3, I'm sorry to hear that you lost your uncle. You lost your uncle. It means that your uncle died. He passed away. Phrasal verb, passed away. So I am really sorry to hear that you lost your uncle. So here, losing an uncle is a good news? No, it's a bad news. So this is what you should say when you hear a bad news about someone. So responding to bad news, I'm sorry. Okay? Please, again, it's not because you see I'm sorry, you think it's an apology. I'm not saying I'm sorry, I came late. No, it's just a way to express or to respond to bad news. Finally, if only we had taken the high-speed train. If only, here this expression if only expresses what? Very good. It expresses regret. When you regret something, you say, oh, if only I had. You use the past perfect. That's regret in the past, okay? If only we had taken the high-speed train. The last task we're going to do now is to finish this conversation right here. G, okay, I need to clean the board first. Okay, so I have a terrible toothache. I have a terrible so we have toothache, we have stomach ache, backache, okay? I have a terrible toothache. When someone has a problem, normally we need to give them, okay, give an advice, an idea. So how can we advise this person who has a terrible toothache? She's thinking, maybe, okay? For example, let's use the one we had in the previous task. Why don't you, okay? Why don't you see, okay? Why don't you see a dentist? Okay? Why don't you see? Is it a question here? No, we are not asking questions. We are giving an advice. So, advice, okay? Or a suggestion here. Well, it's an idea. Okay, why don't you? Finally, number 2, can I use your tablet? Can I use your tablet, please? Okay, if you accept, yes. Okay, so the person is having a tablet here. Yes, sure, okay, or of course. But you can also say no, okay? You can say, I'm sorry. Okay, can I use your tablet? I'm sorry, you can't, or I'm sorry, I need it, for example. I need it right now. I'm sorry, you can't. To decline, okay? You are free to use positive responses or negative ones. We stop here, guys. Thank you so much, and see you with another video. Bye-bye.